Welcome everybody to episode 3 of Mike and Matt's Ad Tech and Wine. I'm not really sure we've got a better title yet. Today's focus is all about our special guest, the one and only Lori Tavoliris. I'm going to go around the horn and do quick intros. We've got Matt, my co-host. He has spent 15 years in the wine and around the wine industry and is a certified sommelier. I am Mike Smith. I work at Centra. I've been in ad tech for 7.5 years. And we have Lori Tavoliris currently at Nexstar and has been in the ad tech industry for 20 plus years. She allowed me to say 20 plus years. Nice Polish family from Chicago. So, she started work when she was 12. It's that kind of work ethic that has gotten her to where she is by the young age of 32. So thank you for joining us, everybody.
Thank you.
We're tour guides through the cosmos. And here we go. First question. What are we drinking? Matt, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I just pulled this guy out. It's Friday. This is a Chenin Blanc from South Africa. Secateurs. Adi Badenhorst is the winemaker. Awesome dude. Makes all his wines in a more kind of natural biodynamic style, and it's just a nice, easy, crisp drinking spring summer white.
Love it. LT, what do you got?
I would say top 3 lately were Patz and Hall Pinot, Twomey Pinot, and then the Belle Glos that you guys so generously sent me for my birthday, already gone.
I love
my
it.
daily drinker is the Riddler, which is delicious and not as expensive as the other ones I just noted. So
yeah.
Since we're gonna be locked in for a while, you gotta think about that.
Gotta pace yourself. With the pregnant wife not allowing me to crack into our stash, I have been drinking almost exclusively Miller Lights, and I have been crushing them 4, 5, 6 at a time, and it's wonderful. All right, so Matt, we got a question for you. What does old vine mean, and is it better than not?
Yeah, so old vine, you'll see this on a lot of labels. California Zinfandel is one that comes to mind. There is no law or regulation around putting old vine on the label. In California, it's common because during the gold rush, there's a lot of Zinfandel planted. So a lot of Zinfandel vines across California are over 50 years old. Some are over 100 years old. Some use it as a marketing ploy. They might just blend a little bit of that in and can label it old vine. But generally speaking, it goes by like an honor code, and the kind of, agreed upon number is around 50 years old. In France, they call it, you'll see this on the label, VA Vin. We'll add that in the notes after. If you see that on the label, that's just French for old vine. The thought is that it's, as wines get older, you get a little more concentration of fruit and acidity in the grapes because it's producing less, it's less vigorous. And so generally speaking, it can lead to maybe a little slightly higher quality wine, but not always the case. So yeah, it's kind of up to personal preference. Yeah.
Good to know. And so let's say I find myself a nice old vine bottle of Zin, and I like my reds a little cold in the summertime. How can I quickly chill that bottle?
Yeah, great question. So I too like my reds with a slight chill on them. So if you don't have a cellar at home to keep them at that, for reds, you can just pop them in the freezer real quick or in the fridge for like 10 minutes. But say you've got a bottle of white or a bottle of sparkling that's room temperature, you need to chill real quick. Get a big bowl, throw some ice and water in it, and a bunch of salt. Salt is a little service industry hack for you. And then you can throw that bottle of white in there and spin it around for about 10 minutes, and it'll chill much, much quicker than just throwing it in the freezer.
Love it. LT and I, when we get our wine, we're probably not patient, but if we can get it a little cold in about 5 minutes, I think we're good on that. 10 just seems like a long time to wait.
I can wait 5 minutes.
Okay, good.
You crack a Miller Lite while you're waiting.
That's right. That's perfect.
Good call.
All right, so this is a wine and ad tech podcast. So let's talk to the queen of ad tech, Ms. Tavoliris. I got a question. This whole the COVID pandemic has had a huge impact on on local media properties.
Yeah.
Traffic is skyrocketing. And I want to know, what are you seeing on the yield side? How are you maximizing revenue as all that traffic spikes?
Sure. Yeah, it's a really interesting time right now. Massive increase in page views. Obviously, people at home, online a lot more, looking for information, especially local news sites. CPMs are seeing a little softness, probably 20 to 25%, depending on what's going on in the week. Q1's probably a little different than Q2, so we've been keeping a close eye on what's happening in April. One of the things we're doing is we are parsing out COVID content by key value pairs, and then adjusting floors and block lists and pulling levers based off of the two different types of content. We're spending a lot of time also studying who's bidding on our inventory and see where there are places for us to maybe calibrate up with people who are still spending to offset those that aren't spending right now.
Yeah, it's the levers that you can pull. I think everybody's interested in what works, and it seems like it's a little bit of a trial and error period.
It's constant maintenance right now, to be honest
Constant
with you. My
maintenance,
yield
yeah.
team is working really hard. We're very busy. We're not one of those businesses that are not busy right now, being in news, obviously. So yeah, it's constant maintenance, and luckily we have a wonderful yield team and great programmatic ops team, and everyone's just digging into the data constantly to see where there's opportunities for us to continue to maximize our revenue.
I love it. Thank you for the insight. I'm sure people have the same question. So now to a little bit lighter topic. Lori is well known for her love of 90s frontmen and 90s rockers. I want my MTV shirt.
I almost wore a Nirvana shirt today just for you.
I assume, wait till we get there. So we're doing a little wine and music pairing, or wine and movies. So we'll start at the top. Matt, what do you got for me with a wine and music or wine and movie suggestion?
All right. So first thing that popped in my head, in honor of John Prine's passing this week, is his hit song "In Spite of Ourselves," and it was actually released in '99. So I just made the cutoff there to stay with our '90s theme. But pairing that with Bründlmayer Grüner Veltliner from Austria, and reason being, it's just got this awesome kind of zippiness and acidity and fruit. And that plays back and forth really nice with that song of that dialogue that's kind of back and forth in it too. So thought that'd go nicely.
I love it. A little Grüner. LP, what are you drinking when you're listening or watching something?
I just don't want to disappoint you, Mike. So I'm gonna go with what you assumed. Let's go with listening to Chris Cornell. Any Chris Cornell. How about like something thick and rich and silky, like a Ferrari, Carano, Sienna, or a Caymus, something that's got like a lot of depth, just like his voice.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know you. I'm surprised.
Love it.
Cornell tapestry hanging behind you.
Well, it's not hung up yet because I just moved in and then we got locked down. So I have my rock star photos that'll be in the background soon.
Good. So I'm gonna drink this Whitcraft Pinot Noir.
Oh yeah.
It's from the Viticole Wine Club, and great chefs often talk about opposites in a dish: cold and hot, soft textures, hard textures. This is going to be an extremely light, fluffy, almost effervescent Pinot Noir. So I am going with the least light, fluffy, effervescent album of all time from the 90s, and that is Jeff Buckley's Grace, which is an absolute stunning album, but is a literal walk through a passage of depression. Listening to that album, it's fabulous. Listening to that album and drinking a effervescent Pinot Noir, I think, is a nice mix. Quarantine food and wine pairing. Matt, what do you got? What are you eating?
All right, so String Cheese does a live stream every Friday night, so I've been making cheese-inspired dishes. Tonight is Chorizo Queso, pairing that with Riesling. Von Winnings from Germany. This is actually their Trocken, which means dry, but that spicy chorizo and a off-dry Riesling goes really nicely. I'm looking forward to it.
Love it.
Nice.
LT, what are you drinking when you're eating?
Well, So I'm staying keto in quarantine. So I do a lot of charcuterie and cheese plates. So a lot of Pinot. A lot of Pinot. The Riddler is kind of my go-to during a lot of this. So charcuterie and that, or bacon and bourbon.
Love it.
I literally just eat pounds of bacon and drink bourbon.
Sounds great.
I should have a bottle with me, but I actually drank it on Sunday and didn't realize it was my last one. I'm doing lamb chops in Malamatina. Malamatina is it's a Retsina from Macedonia, and at most Greek restaurants you can get it. It is not for the tourists. It has a very distinct taste. Nothing goes better with lamb chops than a bottle of Malamatina. So I will be sure to put that in the notes. Finally, I think we've got a little bit of time left. Closing statements. Make sure to comment on the post. Try to win a $25 wine gift card or win $25 with a charity. If you have any questions for Lori on her yield strategy, I'm sure she'd be happy to chat. If you have questions for Matt on wine tips, he would be happy to chat. And if you want to know my thoughts on Tom Brady's value for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from a fantasy football perspective, I'm happy to chat too. Why ask me a question when I've got two experts with it? So appreciate it. Anyone else? Any closing thoughts on 90s rock or wine?
It's always good to throw on an old album throwback. Don't have 90s rock, but I was listening to some old school hip hop and threw Group Home on the mix today.
Oh,
So
nice.
if you're looking for some old boom bap, it's a good one.
Nice. Do you have anything new you're listening to right now, Mike?
You know, I weirdly got into some what was described as like Afro funk. And hold on, I'm pulling it up here. The band is Ofege, Ofege. It's like super, I think it's from the 70s. It's awesome. Maybe it's not from the 70s. I don't know, but it's like really cool, weird new music.
I love it.
Oh, T.
Love it.
What do you, anything new?
Rainbow Kitten Surprise is one of my pretty newer favorites. The new Nathaniel Rateliff album's great. His solo, it's super mellow, but like great, really great album. JC Brooks.
Yeah.
That's another good one that's on rotation for me these days.
I caught RKS at Lincoln Hall a couple of years ago. Great live.
Awesome.
I listened to them just because the band name was so incredible, and I was like, wait, this band is awesome.
Yeah, they're so good. I saw them at the Riv.
I love it.
Yeah, they're good.
You are both wonderful. Lori, thank you so much for indulging Matt and I in our
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Thank you, Lori.
Nice to meet you,
This has been
Matt.
great. I'll throw everything in the links, comment below, and we'll talk to you guys next week for another edition of At Mike's Wine and Ad Tech.
Bye, buddy.
Cheers.